And Suzanne is going to join us. So when
She's
she
here.
does, that's fine. Can I, is it proper to say something before I start the meeting? Oh, there
No.
she is. Oh, it's so cute with that background of the folks.
That's my
in
female guards at the competition.
Oh,
Anyway, I just wanted to thank Courtney for setting this up and also for everybody else to be here. It's frustrating to me that we had such a great thing going and all these great ideas and enthusiasm, and then we sort of had to stop. And most of the other committees, town committees, seems like they can still function. So I'm hoping maybe through this we can figure out a way to do that. I know the building's closed, but gosh, there's so many seniors in Wellfleet that could benefit from our wonderful expertise. Anyway, with that in mind, so I will officially start the meeting, call it to order. And one thing, I know that Brian has a problem with his hand and can't take minutes, so I'm hoping somebody will volunteer to do that. I know Patty was more than anxious to, so maybe she'd like to do that.
thank you.
Oh, gosh, what a way.
And Suzanne said it was all recorded anyway, so that you can, if you miss some important facts, you can go back and review. I mean, and I don't think it's going to be that long a meeting. So,
If I can find the recording.
but will you? Can I assume you're going to do that?
It's in the
Yes,
bottom, the recording.
Yeah, I
No,
gotta
no,
get,
no. She means the
gotta get
file of the
paid.
recording, which is different, and I can send it to you, Patty.
Okay, thanks, Terry.
All right.
Courtney, but that's okay.
So I sent everyone
Close enough. Close enough.
the
True.
last minutes to review, which is a sad thing, actually. It was so interesting, and it's all so long ago, February. So I don't know if anyone's had a chance to look at that, but can we just sort of review that and accept it so we get that out of the way?
Robin, it's Evelyn. I took the minutes last time, and Peg pointed out that there are several corrections in the very last paragraph, which I will make. Peggy was the one who reported that she spoke to Jean Bissett, and I had her name spelled incorrectly.
Laura.
So Peggy had talked to her.
Okay.
And I also will correct the spelling of ragtime, her business. And those are the only corrections I heard that were necessary.
Okay. One thing I'd like to come back to is Will's book that he mentioned. I mean, I know it was last February, but it just sounds so appropriate for right now that maybe we can kind of bring that into discussion. I assume you finished that by now, Will?
My mind is. Now, what book was that?
It says Tightrope: Americans Reaching for Hope.
Oh,
and it talks about loneliness.
by the writer for the Times. Yeah, that's a terrific book.
Yeah.
The drug addiction, the people he knew.
It
Oh,
sounds.
Nick Kristoff's book?
Yeah.
Kristoff's book, yeah.
Have
sounds
we
very
made a motion, Robin? Have we
Yes.
made a motion on the minutes?
No. Go ahead.
Who's going to make a motion that they're accepted?
I'll move that the minutes as amended are to be approved.
Okay.
I second that.
All right.
Thank you.
Now you have to have a vote.
Oh,
Robin.
Vote.
Okay. Yes, in favor.
Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
anyone opposed?
There you go.
It can be like the town meeting. I should have just said anyone opposed to start with. Okay, so the minutes are accepted then. So can we have a director's report?
Certainly.
With all positive news, please.
That's it. That's my report for today.
Yeah.
No, the positive news is that we have been running, as you all probably are aware, a very successful Food Friday program, and we have been the recipients of very generous donations from the community in terms of shellfish and big fish. Somebody has something on in the background.
Patty, you may have to
That's-
mute your thing.
Yeah.
And we have, last time I knew, it was exactly 50 people who are receiving the meals. Many of them are paying for them, and some of them are not. And we have also received generous donations from community organizations, the Police Relief, the Fire Relief Association, some of the banks, and we are able to maintain this program for as long as the building is not open for Mary Ann's Cafe.
Right.
That's our goal. It doesn't answer the need for socialization for the people who normally would come to the Thursday luncheons, but it does make these people feel as if we are in weekly contact with them and that we care about them and that they're still part of our community. So that is the biggest positive that I can report on during the pandemic itself. We have reopened the building in a limited way to appointment-only activities. Our beloved podiatrist, Frank Campo, has been seeing patients since July, and that works very well. We did have AARP tax people through the due date in July, seeing people, and we have also been the beneficiaries of the DPW's fogging machines, and they, after each election and after each week or so, they come in and fog the offices and fog the buildings and the restrooms and the vehicles and the equipment in the shed so that things are sanitary. We received and will be receiving free masks from the police department. And I'm live here, so I'm not sure how much longer this is going to go on, but I would doubt if we're back in full swing until somewhere around a year from now. That's my expectation, based on what I hear from Dr. Fauci and what I read in the New York Times and the Washington Post. So if you are also believers in those, slightly radicalized publications, you're probably familiar with it. A lot of telephone counseling, a lot of opportunities to reach out to people and see how they're doing. And the most popular program that we have going on now is the flu clinic on October 16th, for which we're encouraging people to call and make a reservation. And then because this year it's a drive-through, you're not going to be in the building, you're going to come up in your car with your paperwork completed and your arm that you want the shot in available through a window and get your shot that way. So according to my staff that was in the building yesterday, the phone never stopped ringing. So people are getting the word that that's happening. And also yesterday morning at the select board and emergency management team meeting, Outer Cape Health Services announced that they will be starting drive-through flu clinics in late September, the dates to be announced. So there will be multiple opportunities for people in Wellfleet to get their flu shots this year. And for right now, that's my report.
Can I just add something about the lunches?
Of course.
This is the kind of thing that I wish we could do. I deliver some of the lunches on Friday, and yes, the people love the food, but I probably spend 10, 15 minutes at every stop. I mean, you know, and I hear things like, oh, I just look forward to all week to Fridays. And there's so many of these people that are by themselves. I mean, particularly these women that are isolated out in these boondocks of Wellfleet that I never knew existed. And, you know, they just don't have family and I mean, thank God Tom is my driver who's very patient because, you know, it's very difficult not to stand there with your mask on and back at the door and carry on a conversation with them because they're lonely and they just don't have, I don't know. I wish there was more we could do, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
it's the
actually,
bright spot of their whole week, which makes me feel kind of like,
I agree with
anyway.
you. And there is one more program that Jennifer from the library and I are going to be putting together where people can call into the library and order books. And 1/2 day a week, one of our drivers will go and pick up the orders and deliver them and pick up any books that need to be returned. So like the food, it'll be welcome and the company will be welcome.
Yeah.
And I think it's a nice collaborative, especially as the days grow shorter and darker. It's important to have more contact with people than just Friday food. And I think the library run will be a success as well.
Well,
Let me
yeah.
second what Robin was saying, because I've been doing Meals on Wheels now for 15 years, and it is now taking me 2 hours and a quarter at least to do my run because there are not only more people, but again, I try to, you know, sort of chat up everyone just to see how they're doing. And so that's my Tuesday morning now is mostly consumed with that. So
Yeah, it
Yeah,
makes you feel really great, but inadequate. You know, it's like, but it's at least it's something we can do. And the dark business, we're already dreading it. I hate to think about. I mean, you know, you get up, it's dark, and by the time it's 4 o'clock, it's dark, and that does take a toll.
it does take a toll. I agree.
Yeah.
Suzanne, can I ask you a question about the flu shots?
Yes, sir.
I mean, I've got opportunities to get them at various places. Would you prefer that people like myself, my wife, get them someplace else other than the COA to keep the spaces open for those with limited means of getting shots, or what's your
I don't,
thoughts on that?
that's a very nice offer. I don't think it's as necessary because Outer Cape Health will also be offering the drive-through opportunity. So if we have a client that can't drive and needs to be picked up in the van and offer their arm through the van window, we'll do that. So I think that even if we take them to Outer Cape Health Services, we can do that.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I think we can, thank you for the offer, but I'm
Outer
not,
Cape Health is now offering the flu shot. I got mine last Friday.
right, but this is a drive-through opportunity, like for massive
Yeah,
clinics is what they're
but
talking about.
if you happen to be there for an appointment, as I did, I was able to get the flu shot with no problem.
Right, I know there, a friend of mine has cataract surgery, and so she got her flu shot in the pharmacy about 10 days before the procedure, so that she already had it before she went in. So they're
How
out there.
about somebody that has shot anxiety and doesn't want to hang her arm out the window?
Well, you'll be sitting down, so if you pass out, you won't fall on the floor.
Right.
I've held your hand through a shot, Robin, so I know you
can't.
can
I don't
fall.
think I can do the arm out the window thing.
Would you like us to come and hold your arm for you? Because we can do that. No, I mean, I know it's hard for you, but
yeah,
it's such a necessary thing, especially especially this year.
Right. So they say.
Yeah.
Well, and so so if we come up with things to do, it's going to have to be something not involving the building, obviously.
It's going to have to be an outreach program of some kind.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I just saw on my email the other day that the turkey dinner distribution is going to be done differently this year by Lower Cape Outreach. They're going to have a drive-through the way they've been doing their food distribution all summer, where you drive through and get your turkey and the sides. And so everybody's adapting to this. We may, if some of their client, and I know regularly when they do their twice a month distribution, we have a list of 5 or 6 people that we pick up the food for. So we would do that with the turkeys for Thanksgiving as well. You may want to piggyback on the Friday food and maybe send out a Christmas token with the meals immediately before Christmas for everybody on the Friday food program. I mean, something that's just one added touch will make all the difference in the world. I mean, it's
Yeah.
doesn't have to be huge. It just has to be small, constant contacts with people.
It's too bad there isn't a way we could do exercise. I wonder, these people must really miss the exercise part of.
Well,
But-
there is a possibility, and I haven't heard from my Coast leadership yet about it, but they're trying to get some videos and, exercise programs from Mass Council on Aging. And then all the Channel 18s in every town would have a designated hour per day
Hearing.
for senior programming. And some of those could be like a half hour of exercise and a half hour of information, or 40 minutes of exercise and 20 minutes of information. And we are hoping to get that up and running by October. So that at least would be an opportunity. And like maybe 3 days a week would be on your feet exercise, and 2 days a week would be seated chair exercises. So it would meet everybody's needs.
Good.
But I'm waiting for people above my pay grade to come up with the information.
Mm.
I have another suggestion. This is Sarah. Can you hear me?
I
Yeah.
can.
Good. How about a telephone tree? You know, where we can call some of these isolated elderly people on a regular basis. Maybe we could rotate it through the board members or through the friends, perhaps, so that they would have at least a regular telephone contact to make sure they're okay, and just to chat, you know. I mean, it's fine if they're on reassurance and they get called and yeah, they're okay. But, you know, sometimes they just want to talk to somebody. And
Yeah, I agree. Reassurance is just a very quick, I'm fine today, have a nice day kind of phone call. I know that dispatchers will chat if they have time, but very often they're pressed with other duties. So I think a telephone
Exactly.
connection is a nice thing. Linda's been doing it, staff has been doing it, but it's
she's one person though, you
it's
know?
one person, and it's nice to have someone who's not paid to do it reach out to you.
Exactly.
But I called to volunteer, and I was told that staff and Linda were taking care of it, and I was willing to take on a few people to talk with them. So
Yeah, but that
I
was-
think
Yeah.
that was not long ago.
Well, I think that now, because the anticipated length of the whole thing is growing, that I would like to revisit that, Patty.
Yeah,
we-
because
Yeah,
I'd been
maybe we'll-
doing some of it on my own with people that I know, but I just feel that, it's really important, like Sarah said, and Robin.
Right, Even
Brian.
even if each of you had 2 or 3 people that you called
That's it.
Right,
regularly,
right.
it's not going to be all that onerous
Mhm.
Yes.
to do it that way. Yeah,
I mean, what
And then
else do we have to do?
they'd be used to you.
right. It'd be like the same person. They're apparently reluctant to come, and back when we were trying to do friendly visitors, nobody wanted anybody to visit their house, but they would probably be welcoming of a phone call on a regular
Yes,
basis.
I think it might be different now.
Yeah.
Right, and I also think that if you had news to impart from the COA, you could use that as your frame for the initial phone call or two, just to say, I'm calling.
That's true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that would be why I'm calling you, kind of a way to get inserted in their trust. in the
yes,
phone call.
yeah.
Yeah, perhaps Linda could supply a list of, those most in need. And as I say, we could divide them up, take 2 or 3 and call each of them once or twice a week.
Well, Terry's on this phone call, and I know she doesn't have a mic, but I would definitely be talking with her and Linda and Sally about this, and we'll come up with a roster of names, and then be in communication with you.
And also, if you could think about what topics to address. In other words, it's sort of, I won't say uncomfortable, but for the lack of a better word, it's sort of like a cold call.
Right,
You
well,
know,
that's why I was thinking, if you call with the news that there's a flu clinic on October 16th at the senior center, or just double check to see if they've done their census, you know, if they need any
Yeah.
help with their census, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Something
and that's right.
concrete, Will.
If you could give a list of sort of intro things like
Oh,
that,
sure.
that could really help out, I think.
Right, and I
Yes.
think if you're not on the computer, I'm sorry, Patty, if you're not on a computer and you don't read our electronic newsletter, this is a really important way to bullet point information for people as well.
Right.
I wonder if any of the groups are still doing music. Like, I mean, you know, Toast and Jam, there's only really two of them. I just have a feeling that they're probably feel comfortable with each other at this point. I wonder, it just seems, I wish there was some way we could, even if it's on I don't know, Zoom or something, just for our seniors or something. I don't know what kind of, we could do.
Robin, some of the local musicians are doing outdoor venues. You know, like Payomet's had some there. But I do know that and I think Pres Hall has had some people in their backyard on the lawn. So
Yeah.
there are people, there are entertainers who are willing to do an outdoor venue kind of thing.
Except a lot of these people, I don't think could come to an outdoor thing. I mean, I suppose they could if somebody brought them, but then you're getting into that whole issue again.
Well, I think, again, we have to use Channel 18. Even if you don't have a computer, you usually have a television set.
Right.
And Channel 18 is something that everybody gets in their basic cable package, so it isn't even an advanced channel. And if we could get some videos of musicians and put that as part of our senior hour, Mia Baumgarten, who is the head of the video services for the town, is totally willing to talk to us about this and work something out for us. I contacted her probably in July and told her, as soon as the beach program's over, we're going to work on getting programming. And I would like, personally, I'd like to do an hour a day. So every day at 10 o'clock, you turn on Channel 18 and something about seniors and for seniors is on there. So you don't have to think about what time is it, what day is it, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. And
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
And we can rotate what we do. It doesn't have to be the same. Just tune in at 10 o'clock and see what's going on. You know?
And many groups too have done videos, and even if they're not together, they coordinate the video. My son has done that with a lot of his orchestra members, and they produce a video for people in the Tampa, St. Pete area who attend the Florida Symphony. They've done a lot of that stuff this summer, so it's very doable, even if the players themselves can't get together physically.
Well, I know that the recreation department did a series of concerts this summer, and if they videoed them and we have the file available, I'll check with Becky and Angel about what's appropriate to put on our senior hour. I mean, obviously, we don't want a rap group that won't call a lot of people. If there's
It might.
If there's something more traditional,
You never know.
You never know. That's true. But I will check with Rec and see what they have as a permanent file that we could also use. Because some of these people aren't going to want to be on TV unless they get paid for it. So that would be another consideration, paid for each viewing.
But I think there are a lot of altruistic people out there too, are more than willing to do something like that for community.
Oh, I do. I don't want to put us in a position where we have a financial obligation.
Right.
That's all.
Yeah, but a lot of these people too have been canceled for so many events that I'm sure they're, talking about money. I mean, if it's their livelihood, they're probably really kind of stressed at this point.
I would think so. I would think so.
That's true.
But anyway, it's worth investigating, and
yeah,
we'll see.
Okay. Evelyn, can you give us some update on the Friends? Or whoever wants to do it?
I'm happy to report. Like this board, we haven't met in a long time, but do have a meeting planned for Tuesday, the 29th, almost 2 weeks away. It's very frustrating to look back at our minutes from early March and see all the things that were being planned and, have everything canceled. So, we're reconnoitering and figuring out how we deal with the next year. We did have an annual meeting in June, as our bylaws require. Steve is working with Sylvia Smith, the accountant, to do the IRS and state filings that are due in October. And that's, I guess, all I can say. I don't know if Steve or Sarah can add to that.
That's fine. That's all I would say.
Yeah.
Well, that's all I have to say too. At this point, we'll meet on the 29th and see where we go from there. There's not much we can do right now, unfortunately, until we
Right.
know more about the epidemic. So.
Okay, well, let's move on to old business. I suppose there's no point in discussing the name change. I was thinking that perhaps the select board, now that the town meeting's over, has nothing else to do, but I suppose it would take them 6 months to figure this out, so, but we probably should wait, huh?
I would, because in October, the budgets for annual town meeting 21 are going to start being prepared by department heads, and they don't get submitted for a while. So this would be a window where the select board is not involved in a town meeting. And I don't think it would hurt to put a request in to have it on the agenda and get the discussion started. Because then you're going to want to have it probably on, I don't know if the select board's going to want it on the annual town meeting or whether they'll feel that they can make that change themselves without town meeting input. So it's not too early to start.
Okay. Brian, do you still have that wonderful write-up?
Fortunately, I do. It's
good.
it's gone from my computer, which I think has been taken over by hostile forces. But I do have a copy right here, which I can take a photo of and send it to you.
Well,
And
no, I was thinking more of you presenting it myself. But so how would just ask to be on the agenda?
Well, I think the memo has to go to them. It's requesting to be put on the agenda.
Okay.
Because I did leave a copy off back in January, but somehow I don't think it got into the hands of Suzanne or not. But anyway, I could send this, then it could be typed up nicely or forwarded. I have to change the date. But it's under your signature, though, Robin, as the chair.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Suzanne, is that
Yes?
something that Sally maybe could type up for us so that it would look professional?
I may have it electronically from January. I have to check.
Yeah. But
I'd be glad to retype it for you. It's fine.
Yeah. If not, tell me, Suzanne, and I'll photograph it and send it to you digitally.
If you photograph it and send it to me, then I'll have it, even if I do find it. So that'd be great, Brian.
I'll do that, right?
You want to
Okay.
just text it? You want to text it to me? I'll give you my cell phone.
I don't know if I know how to do that. I can take a picture of it and then send it by email.
That's fine. That's fine.
But what would the email address be for you then?
Suzanne.Thomas
Okay.
at Wellfleet.
Thomas at Wellfleet.
Well, yeah, hyphen
MA,
MA
right?
.gov.
.gov. Okay. All right. I'll send that to you after our little
Okay.
meeting.
So then what would the next step be, Suzanne?
Then when I get that, I will send it, retype it and send it to Courtney and Maria Broadbent, the town administrator, and request that it be put on an agenda, a future agenda. And then
Okay.
when it's put on the agenda, they'll let us know and you join the Zoom meeting.
Yeah, all right. And if Brian wants to present it, we'll all just be there to clap.
That sounds lovely, Robin.
Good
It'll be
luck, Brian.
one hand clapping.
Does that sound right? Okay, Brian?
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to ask one thing though. Does that take away any funding that we might get for being a senior?
No, our funding goes to the Council on Aging.
Yeah.
The Council on Aging is a department that exists. The building is the building that houses that department right now. We could
Okay.
be moved to the basement of the library and still be the Council on Aging and receive funding.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I wondered.
I'm not asking for that. I'm just saying.
No, I know you've made that clear before, but I get confused about that.
Well, I
Okay.
checked into it because it made me a little nervous, but no,
Yeah.
it will not
Suzanne-
impact our funding.
Suzanne, will that change? Will we have to have different community people on our board? I mean, will that be changing the
Nope.
board a bit?
Nope, because you're the board, you're the Council on Aging Board. You would exist as the Council on Aging Board, even if the building name changes. Because you're
Oh,
not
okay.
the Senior Center Board, you're the Council on Aging Board.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all mentioned in the memo here, so you'll see.
Okay.
Great. Good. Anything else anyone wants to bring up from the past? Those good old days?
I just have a question for Suzanne. I was sorry to see Sea Babies leave the building, and I'm wondering if there are any plans for that space.
It's my storage room again. After 15 years of storing all our storage in our offices, we're actually going to have a storage room.
Okay.
And the shed that was our storage area out in the parking lot is going to be used by the DPW for the election equipment. Because right now it's stored in 3 different places,
Mhm.
and it becomes a huge exercise for them to set up and break down election stuff. So
So they aren't going to come back, the Sea Babies.
no, they're not.
No.
It was their decision to leave. I was shocked. They sent us an email, said that as of whatever it was, April 30th, maybe May 30th, 31st, they'd be gone.
Mm.
And under an agreement with the town, they just have to give us 30 days notice, which they did. And I think they anticipated having far fewer children and that the Eastham space would incorporate everybody that they had.
Well, I mean, I imagine people will go back to work someday. I don't know.
I would hope so, but it might not be in my working lifetime.
Oh, or the rest of our lifetime.
Well, let's not get that. Yeah,
Yeah.
Please.
I don't think we're ever going to go back to the quote unquote the way it was. I think it's always going to be a new and different challenge, but I'm hoping someday not to have to wear a mask whenever I'm at work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hasn't there been an increase in the student body at Wellfleet Elementary because of people?
10 kids.
It's 10 kids. Wow.
Yep.
Significant.
Well, the real estate's crazy. I
Well, it's a
mean,
14% increase, so that's a
Yeah.
pretty good chunk.
I just hope these people that are all moving in are going to take some, get involved in the community and not just be using it as a place to sit and do their work. But
I think eventually, right now, they're just trying to get their feet under them and get their families safe and settled. And I hope eventually down the road they become interested and start contributing. But it's scary times now, and I'm not going to put great expectations on a bunch of new people in addition to
Yeah.
everything else they're doing.
especially when they're buying things online, sight unseen for cash for over $2 million, you do wonder whether they're going to fit into the community.
I saw that too.
Well, they're going to fit into that part of the community that could afford to do that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we
probably
shouldn't be too hard on them. We've been happy to collect their money for decades and decades. So it's
Yeah.
time to pay the piper just a little bit, you know?
Yeah, I think the tendency to try to compartmentalize from, them and us is very destructive.
Oh,
especially
I
during this
totally
time.
agree with you. I totally agree with you,
Yeah.
yes.
I mean, it is annoying to have that many cars on the road, but the difference between annoying and dangerous is huge.
Yeah.
I think the only real issue is low income housing. I mean, if you can sell your house for 2 million and, it's just, I worry about losing, as we have talked about for 2 or 3 years, all the people that are working and need to have a
Well, I
house.
think
they can live in.
the 95 Lawrence Road housing, when that gets built, will answer a lot of the, now that they have water for it, that's a really good thing.
Yeah.
That was a big step at town meeting and the prior election to pass that water issue.
Town meeting was remarkably effective and civil. I was very impressed.
I was also.
Me as well.
Yeah.
And it was nice sitting out in the sunshine.
Except my scalp got sunburned because I forgot a hat.
You didn't wear a hat? I'm sorry.
Isn't that dumb?
Mine blew off. Okay. Oh, well, that's good. That's great. As far as new business goes, I realize the time was up in the spring to select a group to choose new officers or ask people. And I'm more than happy to have Will. I know he's in the standby position, but what should we do about that do we have to, again, get a committee, or can we just ask for volunteers? I mean, legally, I don't know.
Well, I think your bylaws say that you need a nominating committee. You might legally, and I have to check this, be able to vote to forego the elections for this year and just continue with the same officers until May of 2021.
That automatically happens, by the way. When the resolution to elect officers say they remain in office until their successors have been elected. And
Oh, that's fine. So that you could make
just go along as without a real problem.
You could
Yeah,
have
I mean, that's fine with me. And Robin, if there's times you can't do it, just let me know, and I'll be happy to chair a meeting and put an agenda together. Should the need
Yeah,
arise.
well,
because
all right.
Courtney does the meetings, it's really simple.
Yeah.
All you guys have to do is dial in.
Is there a motion that you have to do on that? Do we have to do any kind of motion on having the present group of people stay on board?
No, I think if you just stay on board until you're replaced, I think that's how it works.
Yes, that's exactly right. I mean, it basically says you're elected for the term and until your successor has been elected and assumed the office. So you don't have to really do anything.
Do we have to stay on board until we no longer
can stand?
Virus that could be.
You can't stand anymore.
Yeah,
Robin, you know you're having fun. Come on.
Yeah. I don't mind in person. Well, now that I feel like I'm actually on Zoom, it's like I'm.
And you're doing a
in the
fine
world.
job, Robin.
Yes.
The only thing is, Brian, we need somebody to take over being secretary, and unless maybe you could learn to write with your other hand, Brian.
tried that.
No, it's not possible if you're like me. With my left hand is useless.
Yeah.
But so I mean, I know, Evelyn, you've got a lot of other stuff. Does anyone else volunteer, like Peg or Laura or somebody?
Listen, I do the minutes for our community association. I've written a lot of minutes. I'd be happy to do it.
Oh, good. Okay. Thank
But
you.
not for this meeting, because I haven't taken notes for this meeting.
Yes, that's fine.
Okay, but in the future,
right.
I'll be happy to do it.
Thank you.
Great.
Is that all we need to do, or do we have to vote on it?
No, that's it.
Okay.
Thank
Great.
you, Steve.
Yes,
welcome.
thank you, Steve.
I truly appreciate it. Since I heard my name mentioned.
Yeah, I noticed you were awfully quiet.
Yeah. Well, it's so difficult to really talk on these things, and I don't want to talk over other people.
I know.
And you all are having such really great ideas and saying such good things that I don't really have anything to add so far.
Well, it's interesting because Tom was telling me, oh, you've got to mute everybody. And everyone's really done a great job with just talking when they should talk. So I think we are ahead of the game in most committees, according to him. So that's good. Good. So what do we think about in the future? I mean, should we get back to meeting regularly? Even
Well,
though
I
it
think
has to be on Zoom?
I think it's certainly a way of continuing to think of ideas, because I think, more brains are better than one. And in terms of thinking about outreach and things that we might be able to do for those less fortunate than we are here in the community. Some good ideas came up today, and we learned that Suzanne is really on some of these things already. And so from my perspective, I think it's a good thing to do. And if nothing else, it's also a little bit of a social interaction for all of us who are alone as well. So
Absolutely.
I
Yes.
definitely vote for doing this once a month.
Yeah, I
Right.
would agree with that. And I think, we need to follow up on some of these ideas that we had today and see, about implementation and so forth. So I think it's good to keep in touch. I don't know whether you want to do once a month or once every other month. What does everyone think about that?
Well, the one thing about doing once a month is you know what to count on. And I know there was some confusion about time, but 10 probably is a little bit more civil if we have to do this kind of thing. Although I'm up doing my exercise class at 7 now, which will be dark soon, but so yeah, no, I think it's a good idea.
So I
Everyone
recommend that we
agrees.
go to the third Wednesday at 10 a.m.
I think that's great.
Good.
Suzanne,
Nine's too
if you
early.
can keep yourself, if you have that availability, then we can count on you to.
I'll book you in right now.
Okay.
What date?
Well, the third Wednesday in October is the 21st.
That'll work for me.
I think that works for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I might be in. Let's see, what country will accept us now? Oh, nobody. I guess I'll be here.
There are none.
Hardly any.
I know.
One or two in Eastern Europe, I think.
When Trump will accept us.
Yeah.
Lucky to even get out of state.
Maybe Bulgaria.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there are states here that won't take us.
I don't
are.
know.
Yeah.
Well, my daughter and family are all going to Holland, so maybe
Oh,
we'll be
lovely.
over there.
That's lovely.
For I don't know for how long indefinitely. So,
Mm.
okay, that sounds good.
So we're on for October 21st at 10 a.m.
Okay.
October
Eh.
21st.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
because
the third
we have all these holidays coming up, which we can maybe incorporate something for. I mean, I'm already depressed that I'm going to be.
Well,
by
do you want to
myself
meet on Thanksgiving Day? We could meet on Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah. Eat turkey together.
Yeah.
Right.
And the stores are, a lot of the stores are not going to be open this year on Thanksgiving. So we won't be able to go shopping. We'll
Well,
have to
that's
meet with
good.
one
That's
another.
good.
It's a great idea. Yeah, I'm all for it.
What stores do we have to shop in anyway?
Yeah. You mean we can't order on Prime?
Oh, I'm sure that you can order on Prime.
Oh,
I would never want to take that away from you.
I know. I wish there was another option.
Robin,
Yes.
I'm going to be in the Berkshires on the 21st, but other than that, I'm on board for the monthly meetings, the Wednesdays. Okay.
Are we all invited? Can we go there?
Yeah.
Do you have a place there?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
We have,
that was
maybe
the
we
wrong
could have our
answer.
meeting there.
No, I have a hotel in Pittsburgh.
Oh,
Oh.
well, I thought maybe you had a little hideaway that we could all meet at.
yeah,
Yeah.
right.
No?
Spend
Maybe you could get a
Thanksgiving
little
with Brian.
hideaway.
All right. Is there any other business, or are we ready to close for now?
I think so.
I hope so.
I
Okay,
think we're ready to close.
all right.
I'm ready.
Who's making a motion?
I motion, do a
I
motion
move.
to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, so we'll see you all.
All in favor?
Hopefully.
Who seconded?
Aye.
Will, are you, one personal thing, are you still going to Maine?
Yes, but that's next week.
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah,
last,
I have to get a COVID test. I
Yeah.
know of 3 people now that have been fined
Yeah, I know.
$500
yeah,
for that
So
have been
it's worth-
stopped.
it's
No.
worth $150.
Yeah, that's
you're
what
gonna
we're
have to
doing.
pay.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
know.
Well, I would have been leaving on the 30th for Vienna for a month.
Oh, oh, oh,
Yeah.
Apartment and
oh,
I have a
wow.
ticket, but they won't let us in because I'm
No.
coming shithole country that is
Right.
filled with sick people, and they don't want us to cross their border and
No,
infect.
they don't. Well, that's what I'm worried about. If I may never see my kids again, if depending on the election results. So,
Yeah.
oh well. With that note, we'll close.
On that
Okay.
positive note.
Yes.
But
Oh
goodbye,
yeah,
all.
right.
All
All right.
Bye.
Nice
right.
talking to you, everyone. Bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Now all I gotta do is figure out how to do this closing thing.
Hit leave.